Coming up today on Studio 13 Live, we are taking you inside Mopop's Hidden Worlds, the film's Leica exhibit. You're getting a look at the immersive set displays and character interactives behind legendary films like Coraline and Missing Link.
And the Style Witch is joining us in studio to show us how to have fun with hairstyles this spring. Plus, get your bunny ears out. Cookies with Tiffany is here to teach us how to decorate Easter-themed treats.
Then Vindulge is getting us ready for barbecue season with some cherry bourbon glazed squash and beef skewers. Studio 13 Live starts right now.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today.
Hey, happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Carly Henderson.
And I'm Mireya Garcia. And you know, we talked about the Barbie movie yesterday.
Yeah.
Now the Barbie poster is trending on the internet. We definitely had to take part. Okay, look at this.
I want to see yours.
Ooh, there she
Yes.
is. Mine says, this Barbie is figuring it all out. This was the automatic caption, and I was like, this tracks. What
What are you trying to figure out the most?
Just my life, girl. I think we all are, you know?
Yeah. Every day, every day. Okay, let me show you mine.
Okay.
So that's
Aw,
mine. I made it say,
cute.
this Barbie is a TV host.
Very nice.
It's just so
love
fun.
that.
I feel like I saw all those memes going around. I love seeing them kind of like take on a life of their own. So it's fun to jump in on the trend. And on our social media today, if you go to our Instagram, you'll get to see more of our Studio 13 crew. We're all going to share our Barbie posters on there. So I'm excited to see them all because I haven't seen them yet, and for you to see them too. All right. Speaking of movies, if you are in need of a new movie to watch, the Super Mario Brothers movie hits theaters today. In that, you're going to see Chris Pratt as Mario, along with Charlie Day, Keegan-Michael Key, Jack Black, and Anya Taylor-Joy. The movie follows a familiar plot about Mario and his friends attempting to save Mushroom Kingdom from Bowser. How do we feel about video games being turned into movies?
I like it. How do you feel about it?
I'm into it.
Yeah.
It's nostalgic. It's fun. I mean, I feel like who didn't play Super Mario when you were a child, right? Even if you didn't have it yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure like your friends had it. It's so fun.
I loved it.
It's getting rave reviews too. I was reading The Verge said it was like the gold standard for video game movies. So it's getting super, super good reviews and such a good cast too. My only thing, and this isn't particularly with this movie, but it does have it in this movie, is like, I don't understand why they choose huge celebrities to voice like animated movies. Because for me, I don't actually want to know who is the voice of the character because I feel like it makes me believe the character less.
Right, I get what you're saying.
Weird?
I get what you're saying, but there was a ton of drama related to Chris Pratt sounding like Chris Pratt in this. You know what I mean? Early on, when the very first trailer dropped.
To my point.
Yes, exactly.
Which makes it hard to believe he's Mario. You're just thinking, oh, that's Chris Pratt again.
That's
like,
true.
I almost want it to be a surprise at the end, but maybe they do it because people will see the film if they see who's in it and voicing it. But
I think so.
That's always random too. But I am excited to see it. I think it's going to be really good.
I do think that as well. And also high five to Chris Pratt, who is from the Pacific Northwest. So I think that's very cool. And I will definitely be watching this.
Yeah.
Probably not in theaters, but I cannot wait for it to, you know, be on demand, and I'll definitely watch it.
It's nice that the movies hit on demand a little bit quicker these days too. Excited for that.
Yes. All right. Well, Taylor Swift fans, they've noticed something very interesting here. Okay. No matter where they are seated in the Eras tour, they never really saw Taylor walking around before the show. So rumors started circulating that she was actually getting in there in disguise or secretly in some way on stage. Okay. And in true fashion, the Swifties were on to something. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Here you see a TikTok video that started spreading after fans noticed that security was very carefully moving this janitorial cart. Turns out that this may very well be how Swift is getting around the venue. And fans say that it makes the whole production even more impressive because there's really just a lot of thought going into, you know, her surprise appearance at the beginning of the show, which I totally agree. I mean, yes, I love the drama, but it was also at one point very obvious because they were very careful. And there's like mops and a broom. Like, if you've seen it, there's just like weird stuff sticking out.
Yeah.
But I hear this is not not the first time Taylor has done something like this.
That's right. So a few years ago, there were all these basically Taylor wasn't seen for a year. So people had no idea where she was. They figured she was in her apartment, maybe never leaving. This was after the whole Kanye drama back in the day. But they noticed all these guards carrying these huge boxes, like almost like a really large suitcase, in and out of her building. And I believe it, and fans theorize that they were moving her in and out of her apartment in this giant suitcase box, which to me, the janitor cart or it's Taylor must have had a lot of trust in the people around her to not like be clumsy and like stub their toe or something, because if you're being carried in this box and someone takes a spill, that would be a little dangerous.
Yeah.
Same with the janitor cart.
I know. At least it looks like she can stand in that cart.
Yeah.
But with the suitcase, I've seen that picture.
Down.
I've seen that picture of the suitcase. I would not trust anyone enough to get into a suitcase like that. But it really goes to show the like weight of just constantly being looked at and pictures taken of you, that you would take these measures to try and have a little privacy.
It's so entertaining.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what it'll kind of change into next, because she can't keep doing it. Everybody knows now. Swifties are onto her. All right, Chris Hemsworth is actually going to be taking a step back from acting after being told that he's at a higher risk for Alzheimer's disease last year. So while working on National Geographic's Limitless, which is a docuseries about fighting against the natural aging process, he underwent a series of genetic testing. This is where he found out that he has 2 copies of a gene that's linked to the disease, something only about 3% of the population has. Hemsworth told Vanity Fair that because of this, he's 8 to 10 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's. Hemsworth said that has inspired him to just live his life to the fullest and pushing him to live in the moment.
Wow, that is so sad, but also very beautiful that he has the ability to take the step back. And I'm sure that you saw this, but there was a video that went viral of him and his wife, and they did like some special makeup effects on her, so she looked a lot older. And it seemed a little silly at first, but then you realize that he did that because there is a strong possibility that he is not going to see, he's not going to make it to see how his wife looks when she's an older woman.
Oh my gosh, don't make me cry.
I know, it's so sad.
With like him, and then, you know, with Bruce Willis facing all of his health challenges and having to retire recently, it really makes you realize how human these actors are. I think a lot of times these huge, like, especially like action heroes, we think of them as like larger than life, but they're human just like us. And this is such a traumatic discovery. Thankfully, he's like a multi-millionaire, so hopefully he has the freedom to step back and say, I'm just gonna enjoy my life however I choose to do that.
Yes, and we've heard that he is going to be finishing out his Marvel contract. So I think that this retirement plan is just kind of like a multi-step process where he's going to keep his commitments, but he is really just going to make more room for family at this point.
It makes total sense.
Yeah. And in other health news, Wolverine actor Hugh Jackman told fans that he actually had 2 spots biopsied for basal cell carcinoma. So he's still waiting for these test results, but Jackman wanted to be very careful because he's actually already had this type of skin cancer before, basal cell carcinoma. And as we get closer to summer, you know, he's really urging people the importance of using sunscreen no matter how bad you want that tan, because cancer at the end of the day is just not worth it. And according to the Moffitt Cancer Center, chronic sun exposure is one of the primary causes for basal cell carcinoma. So certainly something very serious. And I actually know a few people who've had this type of biopsy, and you know, they're not just scraping off a little bit of skin. They really like dig out a chunk of your skin, and that's just the test to see if anything is wrong.
I like you, I've had a couple of friends who have already had skin cancer in their 30s. So sunscreen, very important. And I appreciate that he used something bad that happened to him to kind of raise awareness and hopefully keep everybody a little bit healthier. I didn't really start wearing sunscreen intensely on my face until I was probably 25.
Yeah.
Like I think of all the burns I had when I was younger and oh, how we would do it differently. But now you know, now you know. All right, this week marks the 50th anniversary since the first cell phone call was made, paving the road for the technology we've got today. A Motorola engineer used a mobile phone to call his friend at a rival company back in 1973. The engineer stood on a street corner in New York and made the call. The phone, weighing more than 2 pounds, That's a really heavy cell phone. Was released for commercial use a decade later. It was around $3,500, and oh my gosh, so much has changed since then. I can't believe it. I think back on my old cell phone, and I remember I thought, it's so cute and little, and I like still have it in with like all my memories and my box of all my stuff. I rediscovered it recently. It's really big.
So when you were reading that, all I could envision was the little weights on the back of my Peloton bike. They are 3 pounds each, but I can only imagine like holding that, trying to have a conversation. No, absolutely not. Yeah, my Nokia, I mean, it was pretty big, but it was nowhere near 2 pounds. So nowadays, I lose my phone in my purse constantly, convinced I don't have it, and it really is there. So they're very light nowadays, I guess.
Thank goodness, though. All right, what's your policy on starting to eat at a restaurant before everyone else has their food?
Okay.
Think about that. 62% of people say that it's not cool to start eating before everybody has their food, unless the waiter has specifically said that there will be a delay. Meanwhile, 38% say that it's cool to start eating your food right when it arrives to the table. So, do you start eating before everybody's food has arrived?
It depends on which Mireya you're asking.
Oh,
okay.
Hangry Mireya?
Well, Hangry Mireya does not care about your feelings, and she will eat whenever the food arrives. But I will tell you this, before I had kids, I was very polite about this, and I would wait. Even if there was a delay, I would wait to eat, or I would share some French fries with whoever I was eating with. But now, whether or not I go out with my son, who's only 3, you got to keep him entertained. So really, for me and my husband, whoever gets the food first, that's who's going to eat first.
Yeah.
And then the other person, has to entertain the kid. So I definitely kind of take that into my adult meals now.
Yeah.
So if my food comes, I will like snatch it and eat and then be like, oh, maybe I should have waited. What about you?
Ideally, there's like something on the table that everybody's already sharing, like a chips and guac, chips and salsa, something like that. And like, I know everyone's so nice when they're like, oh, go ahead and eat. I don't want this to get cold. Go ahead and eat. But it's so uncomfortable to eat when you're the only person whose food has arrived and you're just waiting for everyone else. Like, that's so awkward. So I think what I would do is if I got like a burger and fries, I would just like eat a French fry, offer it to the people around me and go. But it's so weird to like eat when everyone else, is starving and just like watching
staring at you, staring you down. Well, hopefully, people's food just comes out quickly.
Yeah.
That's what I wish for you all.
Yes.
Speaking of manners, though, first impressions do count, and apparently you only have a few seconds to make a good one. So a new survey found that the average person makes their official first impression in 27 seconds. Not a whole lot of time. So with that being said, 1 in 3 people make their first impression in under just 10 seconds, actually, depending on what's going on there. So you want to start off on a good note, of course, right? And 51% of people in this survey say that a nice smile is the best way to do that. You come off as friendly. Of course, having good manners, making eye contact, and arriving on time are all positive ways to leave your mark. And 81% of people agreed that confidence is key to making a good impression. But here is the thing for me. Confidence is like hard to define, right? Because sometimes you come off as like being over the top or thinking you're like too high and mighty.
Yeah, or the handshake is like really strong. I feel like the handshake is really big for the first impression too. Or like if it's a really limp one, you're like, oh my goodness, But anyway, coming up next on Studio 13 Live, we're gonna be checking in with TMZ.
Yes, Kelsey Ballerini says she stands behind her CMT music performance, and we are sharing the latest on some backlash. That's next. It is time to take a look at what is popping in the world of celebrity news.
And for that, we are bringing in Fabian Garcia from TMZ. Hello.
Hey, good morning, you guys. How you doing?
Good to see you. So,
yeah, good to see you too.
I hear that Jeremy Renner says that he was actually writing his final words to his loved ones after getting crushed by a snowplow earlier this year. What can you tell us about that?
That's correct. So this is more footage from his sit down with ABC, which is airing tomorrow night. Once again, it looks really emotional. He's talking more about the snowplow accident and kind of what he was going through in the moment. So first off, he says, dying alone would have been the worst thing in the world. Thank God I had my nephew Alex near me. That's the nephew that he ended up like pushing out of the way to save, and as a result, get ran over by the snowplow. So he was happy in the sense that he wasn't alone, but then he revealed that once he was getting to the hospital, or not, no, I'm sorry, once he was there on the ground, and I guess like while he was like dealing with the injuries, he started writing last words in his phone, he said, I guess he thought he was going to die. That's basically just what you can kind of take from this. He thought he was going to die. He didn't think he was going to make it. So as a result, he was writing down in the notepads of his phone last words to his family. And if you guys will recall, when he was actually at the hospital, he revealed that he like signed something to them saying, "I'm sorry," which again just kind of shows that he really thought he was at death's doorstep. Super traumatic, and I'm looking forward to seeing this interview tomorrow night because it looks like it's going to be quite something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so sad.
It does. And I feel like it really says a lot. I mean, after hearing the extent of his injuries, you know, which we've had a chance to kind of hear from him, it does not surprise me that he was really feeling like this might be the end for him.
Yeah, and it's incredible to see that he's doing so well in such a short amount of time. So good for Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, Kelsey Ballerini is standing behind her decision to bring on drag queens to perform with her at the CMT Awards. So talk to us about the backlash, the drama surrounding this.
Well, this was one of two controversial things that she did during the award show. You guys might remember to kick off the award show, she was talking about gun control, made a reference to the Nashville tragedy from last week, and called for gun control. And that's controversial in right-wing circles, you know, and it's kind of a stereotype, but I guess it rings true in this case. A lot of right-wingers and or conservative people listen to country. They didn't like that. They also didn't like this. I think midway through the show, during one of her performances, she brought out 4 RuPaul Drag Race stars who were dressed in drag, and they just performed with her. And there was a lot of controversy with that, too, a lot of backlash, a lot of people saying that CMT has gone, quote-unquote, woke, everything else that you can imagine on Twitter. But we kind of spoke to some people behind the scenes, including people close to Kelsey, and she is standing by her decision, not apologizing for anything. You know, CBS and CMT planned this whole thing, so it wasn't like they didn't ambush the stage. It wasn't like some last-minute audible. They wanted to do this to kind of show some inclusion and some support for the LGBT community. And we even spoke to one of those drag queens, and on the record, she kind of said to us, "This is where country is heading. If you're not with it, get off the train." So we're kind of at this sort of inflection point a little bit between traditional country fans, I guess you could say, and where mainstream country is headed. And that's kind of where we're going here.
When I hear stories like this, I'm like, what year are we in?
I know.
Yes.
I'm surprised that people would be so offended by that. I mean, we've gone to a drag show before.
Sure.
I think drag is like so much fun. So
It feels
I mean,
mainstream
to be honest,
us.
yeah.
Right. I'm not really surprised because, again, this is the traditional country audience, right? Again, it's sort of stereotypical, but we're sort of seeing that stereotype play out live on Twitter, and it's sort of creating this divide. So, yeah, good for Kelsey.
Yeah. Fabian Garcia, thank you so much for chatting with us today. We'll catch up with you soon.
For sure. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Bye.
Hey, a Dairy Queen in Phoenix, Arizona. I love Dairy Queen, by the way. It's also in
DQ.
Texas. Yeah, go DQ. So they'll soon be reunited with a giant red spoon that just up and disappeared last month. So we all know DQ has these red spoons. They don't look exactly like this one, right? But they give them to customers. They've done it for decades. This particular location had a 15-foot tall red spoon that just vanished last month after it went viral. A man playing Pokemon Go found that spoon behind the fence of a nearby middle school in a baseball field, and he was actually offered a reward but said he doesn't need one. He just was happy that Dairy Queen was going to be getting their spoon back. So shout out to the power of the internet and apparently Pokemon Go for this one. Although I have to say, it didn't much look like it was hidden. It was, I mean, how do you hide a 15-foot tall red spoon?
No kidding. That is so random. I hope he at least got like a little dilly bar for this or something.
I know, right?
Now I want Dairy Queen, all right? All right, a pair of unusual best friends are going to their forever home together.
Us?
Yeah, you know what? Maybe. So Felix the dog and Cinnamon the goat, some other friends that you're sitting on there, were at an animal shelter in North Carolina when they developed this amazing friendship. The two are so close that Cinnamon cries when Felix isn't around her. The two were adopted together and they're going to live out the rest of their lives on a farm together. How cute is that?
That's magical.
I didn't know goats could be in animal shelters, to be honest.
I know.
Like they're at like farm sanctuaries, like the one that I went went to last
Yeah.
year, but I was surprised to hear that.
Very sweet.
Love an interspecies friendship. All right, coming up on Studio 13 Live, we are talking all about spring hairstyle trends with the Style Witch.
You'll see which styles are making a comeback all the way from the 90s and the products that are best for your hair.
From perms to pixie cuts, we've definitely seen an array of hairstyles grow in popularity throughout the years, even some making a comeback in this day and age.
Yeah, and today we're joined by Kara Weber, the owner and master stylist of The Style Witch. Love that name. Thank you. And she's going to tell us all about the styles that are trending. We are so happy that you're here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Absolutely. So you're located in Fremont.
We're in Fremont. Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're a hair salon in Fremont.
Wonderful. So talk to us about what it is that your team wants to do for clients.
So we really want to make everyone feel as beautiful as possible, enhancing natural beauty.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you know all about the trendy hairstyles. So what are the ones that are trending this spring?
So this spring, blowouts are back. Like
Okay.
polished, nice polished blowouts are back.
Okay. And we
Here's
have a
Jordan.
model coming in here.
Oh,
All right.
wonderful.
So talk us through what's
So Jordan
happening.
came into the salon earlier this morning and we did a blowout and we set it on these Velcro rollers, which are back.
Okay.
Yeah, so my mom used to use these when I was in grade school,
Exactly.
and then I kind of stopped seeing them around. But
I
they're
know,
back.
I've had them and then I've gotten rid of them and now I just got them again.
And do you put them in when your hair is wet, or do you let it
No.
dry a little bit? Or what?
What I did was I did a blowout on her with a round brush. In each section, when it's still hot, you take the roller, roll it up, and let it cool in the right
Okay.
position.
So this
Cool.
is different than hot rollers.
This is different than hot rollers. So you're using the heat of the blow dryer as a hot roller.
Yeah.
But yes,
It's like
less
a different shape.
expensive. Yeah, easier than a hot roller.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So where did the name The Style Witch come from?
Actually, from my grandma when I was a kid. She was pretty glamorous.
Yeah.
And when she was getting ready, she's like, "Oh, I look like a witch today."
Oh.
And so I always thought it was so funny. And when I opened a salon, I'm like, I don't want to take myself too seriously, you know. So
Yeah.
the Style Witch came to be.
Okay. I like that
Beautiful.
name.
Wonderful. Now, while you're working on these rollers, let's talk a little bit about 90s looks that are coming back. I feel like this is definitely gives 90s vibes for sure.
Absolutely.
But what other looks are coming back?
Short shag, short layers. If
Wonderful.
you remember the Rachel.
Oh, ma'am, I do. I had every single one of Jennifer Aniston's haircuts over the years.
You really were
Right?
friend super
I was.
I feel like Jenna Ortega really rocked those that short shag
Yeah.
recently on the red carpet too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Man, this is so pretty and shiny already.
Wow.
Any
We've got
tips
lots
for
of
getting
volume in
those
there.
out? I've never used these before, so
Yeah, look
any
at all
tips
that
for
body
using
in
it at
there.
home? Yeah.
We did drive here with them
Yeah,
in today,
yeah.
so you're typically not doing that.
Right.
Will you
Yeah.
turn towards me,
Well, I
Jordan?
might come in here in the middle of the night, honestly.
That's what they're good for too. Is you can set them and then take them out when you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You know that Texas saying, the bigger the
Yeah.
hair, the closer to God.
Closer to God. So cute. Love it. This is fabulous.
Yeah, looks good.
Great.
Nice.
How do you feel? Give us a thumbs
Oh
up.
my God, it feels amazing. It feels
Yeah.
Good.
Very
Yes.
big. I love it. I love it. Now, what
Awesome.
are some tips you have for maintaining this volume? Because that's my main problem. I start up with huge hair, and by the end of the day,
I would just flip your hair upside down, do a little hairspray, zhuzh it up, and you'll be good to go.
Perfect.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You can
look
always throw the
wonderful.
roller back in the front if you needed to, but yeah.
That's
And then
great.
take it out when it's go
Wonderful.
time.
And then are we going to see an example of the short shaggy hair you got
Absolutely,
planned for us
yes.
too? Come on in
Hello,
here.
this is a whole lovely look. I
Yes,
love
it
it.
So this is Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
This is a bob / pixie with the short layers. And then these little cute bangs are super in, bottleneck bangs. They're shorter in the center, kind of feather out.
Okay. Cute.
We use the sea salt spray on her. And,
And
the
these
curl
are products that you made, right? They say your name on them.
Yes, these
Yeah.
are the Style Witch products. We came out with these in 2020 when the lockdown happened. It's been a dream of mine for a long time, and I had the time to kind of make it come to fruition.
That's
so
great. That has to feel
Wonderful.
so good to have your own line here.
It feels amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And this one seems great because you maybe don't need to use as much heat on it.
You don't. This is all her natural texture. She's got a medium texture, and so yeah, we just put the curl cream in, which is this product right here. You can use it wet, you can use it dry, and then yeah, we just kind of styled her out that way.
Wonderful. And while you're
Can I smell
applying,
it?
can
Of course, yeah.
you explain the
smells great.
difference between bottleneck bangs and the curtain bang? Because I have a curtain bang hidden in here myself.
Love the curtain bang. They're super in right now
Yeah.
too. The curtain bang kind of starts here and goes out. The bottleneck bang is a little shorter in the center here. And then kind
Beautiful.
of comes out. So yeah, you just want to kind of piece it out, go with the natural texture.
Great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
So cute.
And then you've got one more look, right,
Yes.
that you're going to
Yes.
show us. So something else with bangs.
One of
Talk
my
about
favorite
this.
people has bangs, so we gotta know how you style them.
and they're super cute.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll just like do a little of that. Would have
Yeah.
done it a little longer, you know, if we were in the salon. And then we'll just kind of piece them out for you too.
Okay.
Ooh, do you normally piece them
Sounds
out?
good. No, I don't.
Oh,
I do
oh.
like the straight across, but when they grow out, I will piece them out a little bit.
That's a good way to get more life out of them. I
Yeah,
feel like.
exactly.
Oh, wonderful.
Great. So cute.
Now, do you wash just the bangs every day or not every day? Okay.
Yeah. When on the days where I don't wash the full hair, I might still like bending down like this. I definitely do the bang wash in the sink. Absolutely.
You could also do dry shampoo.
Yeah, absolutely. And real quick before we go, I would love to hear this because it's my eternal struggle. How do you keep the hair looking happy and fresh when it's not a hair wash day?
I would use our dry shampoo, which is this one right here.
Oh, beautiful.
So yeah, you just use like a makeup brush, or you can use like a salt shaker and shake it on.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Coming in with the hot tips.
Yeah,
Kara,
I
thank
love
you so
it.
much for coming in today.
Thank you so
This
much
is
for having us.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've got more info on the Style Witch up on our website, fox13seattle.com/studio13live. And still to come here, we are taking you inside the hidden worlds, films of Leica exhibit at Mopop.
Yeah, we're getting a behind the scenes look at the production behind stop motion films like Coraline. We'll be right back.
Hidden Worlds Films of Leica is now at Mopop, and this is a chance to get a look behind the curtain at stop motion animation.
So Leica is actually a Pacific Northwest production company, and they're now sharing their award-winning content in brand new ways. I actually got the opportunity to get a sneak peek into this new magical exhibit, and now I get the opportunity to share it with you. Here are the Hidden Worlds.
Hi, my name is Amalia Kozloff, and I'm the curator here at Mopop. We've been working for almost 2 years partnering with Leica on this exhibit. My hopes are that we inspire the next generation of animators and filmmakers and super fans, you know, people who are excited about going to cons and cosplaying as some of the characters. So this exhibit really is for everyone. As you walk through each gallery, they're separated by the filmography of Leica. So you walk through Coraline to Paranorman, etc. And each space has its own feeling. And really what I wanted to do was play with scale. So we have these amazing miniature puppets and sets that you see the artistry and the craftsmanship on. But then when you look at the set designs and the surrounds that we created, you become the puppet.
So I want to give you this close-up look at some of the small settings that Leica uses to create some massive, memorable scenes. This one is from the movie Missing Link, one of my favorites. There's no way that you come here and don't feel inspired.
Hi, I'm Ariane Suttner. I am the head of production at Leica. I have produced 3 of their movies, 3 of our movies, and I'm producing Wildwood right now. It's been a dream to be able to create something that is in the Pacific Northwest, to be able to bring these unusual stories to life. They are unique, I think, in the marketplace. They're special. You can tell that humans have made these movies because they're so personal. I love to see people's reactions. I love to see, for example, our giant skeleton from Kubo and the Two Strings just in situ here. It's really magnificent, the height and the breadth, and people getting to see him in person, and it kind of takes their breath away. We're encouraging creativity, we're exploring creativity, we're exploring what it means to be human.
I've just had the time of my life. Of course, we have to show off the zombies. They are my 3-year-old's favorite. Don't ask me why. One thing's for sure, though. This partnership between Mopop and Leica, scary good.
I had a lot of fun there that day, and you can find Hidden Worlds, the films of Leica, now through summer of 2024. There is time ticketing, so it's never going to be like too packed. You are required to buy a special ticket to enter, though, so The Leica exhibition isn't included in that general admission price.
What a fun
I
package.
had a
That
real
looks so
blast.
cool. You sold me on going there.
Good. And you know, one of the most interesting things I learned is that with stop motion now, they use like 3D printers, so you get even more facial expressions than you used to. Yeah.
Would you take your son, or like, do you think he's old enough to check it out and enjoy it?
So, I mean, I think it really just depends on your kid. I would say 3 might be too young, and he's 3, but he very specifically likes zombies and even asked for zombie stuffed animals, which we got him, so I think he would like it.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Great job on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aw. Well, as we get closer and closer to Easter, animal activists are reminding you not to gift bunnies or any other baby animals as gifts this weekend. Every single year, rescues are just flooded with animals like bunnies that were gifted to young kids on Easter. At first, the commitment of a new pet is really exciting, but you should not get an animal if you are not prepared to care for it past the whole novelty phase. Multiple experts told Syracuse University that gifting pets for holidays is not a good idea. Now, if you do want to make the lifelong commitment, consider adopting. Oh.
Yeah, this is very sweet, you know, and when I was doing a lot more hard news, we would do stories about pets like this every year, and yeah, you know, rescues are flooded with chicks and bunnies right after, because it's difficult to take care of an animal, and it is a long commitment.
It is, and these little creatures have feelings too, so that would be really difficult for them to think they have this new family and then have to go back to the shelter and then hopefully get adopted again. So I'm glad we're finding this out.
I think that's important. And speaking of animals, the New York Times looked into the number of adults who actually still have little stuffies, little stuffed animals, okay? The author wrote about rediscovering the comfort of a stuffed animal and the comfort it provides, especially during the pandemic. And according to a recent study, 40% of adults polled say that they still actually sleep with a stuffed animal. Some had stuffed animals since they were kids. Others got theirs more recently. Do you still have one?
So I do still have my childhood stuffed animal, but it's in a bin somewhere. I don't sleep with it. Yeah. But I was out walking around the city last weekend, and I found this really cute stuffed animal, and I kind of wanted it, but I thought that would be so weird.
No.
Like, I'm an adult, I can't have a stuffed animal, and now I feel like it's okay, and I want to go back and get it.
I'll tell you. So I don't. I'm not like a super duper sentimental person, but I hope you don't mind. I'm going to say this, Nick. My husband is very sentimental, and he actually still has a stuffed animal that we've given to my son, but that he's had since he was a child. And we actually had to pay big bucks one year to get it fully repaired by a professional who works with antique toys, because one of our dogs ripped the face off.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I feel like my dog kind of looks like a stuffed animal, so that's just what I've got for now. All right, coming up, Cookies with Tiffany is joining us in studio with a look at how to decorate cookies for Easter.
Including special cookies with Cadbury eggs and coconut flakes. We'll be right back. Hey, friendly reminder, Easter is on Sunday, and you can get the whole family involved in celebrating making some delicious egg-themed cookies.
And today we are joined by Tiffany Lewis. She's the founder and chief cookie officer of Cookies with Tiffany. Best title ever. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi. I think my dog has a better title. He's the chief cuteness officer.
Very nice.
Somebody has to be cute. Might as well be my
like
dog.
mother, like son.
Right? Exactly. He's a pretty cute, like a little four-legged friend too.
What are you making today?
I'm so excited to show you our Easter cookies. They're adorable. So over here, we have our Easter cookie. Now the thing I love about these cookies, it is perfect for Easter. It's Sunday. Can you believe it?
I know, already.
Oh my gosh, like what happened? But it's also great for spring. We have all the spring colors there, so you can have that refined and like not fussy, but refined kind of cookie for like, you know, your brunch or anything like that. But we can also have it all spring long, and it's fun for kids too, because that little egg on top. Who doesn't love a Cadbury egg?
So what goes in it? We have the Cadbury egg.
Yes, so what we're gonna do, so it's Cadbury egg and then a nest of coconut. Ooh. And then if the little, you know, egg kind of rolls around, then we call it our hatched cookie, because the egg is hatching.
I like that.
But
Gotta
let's
improvise.
I wanna show you guys something really, really cool. So what we could do is we can do this. So at our bake shop in Madrona, at the Ballard Farmers Market on Sunday. We're going to be selling these cookies this weekend. So you
good.
can come and pick them up. If you don't want to messy up your kitchen or you just kind of want to have the cookies, bring it to your event, that's there. We're there for you. But if you want to have a fun activity for your kids or for whoever, your gal pals or whoever, I'm going to show you another fun way we can do this and make it Easter friendly.
Perfect.
So we're going to get our hands dirty. You guys okay with that?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We love it.
I love being like
Busy.
interactive. Yeah,
busy
being
lady.
Yeah.
Too. Right? We're in the kitchen. Let's have fun together. So in my KitchenAid stand mixer, I already have my sugar and my butter and my eggs. I've already creamed this, so that's kind of a foundation. You can use any sugar cookie dough recipe that you want. So find your favorite. That's a blank canvas. It's a template which you can create your masterpiece from. So I have that here. So a few things we need to do. I need somebody to whisk this for me. This is our dry ingredients. So we have flour, salt, baking soda, soda spreads, powder puffs. I love giving that tip. Isn't that a cool tip?
Yeah.
Right? And milk powder. If you remember from last time, we talked about
yes.
milk powder to flavor. It's delicious. The other thing, I'm gonna have you do this. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm so excited for you. Okay, so what you're gonna do, in this double bag here, you are gonna put Cadbury eggs. These are delicious. Have you guys tried these?
I love
Not in a
them.
long time, so I'll just
I think
refresh
you
my
should
memory
try
right
it,
now.
just so that you remember, like, you know what you're talking about here.
Oh.
Brings me back to my childhood.
Right? I know. It's like the gift that keeps giving, right? So you're gonna put a couple handfuls in here. We're gonna zip it, get the air out, and we're gonna have a little fun with our Rollington here.
Couple handfuls.
Yes.
There.
That's
Yes,
okay.
we're on a roll.
Yes, literally, we're on a roll. I love
on
this.
a roll, baby.
Doing great with the whisking here. So what we're gonna do is you're going to use this little scoop and you're gonna put the flour in here. I'm gonna lower this for you.
All of it?
Yes, all of that flour. Now the reason I wanted to wait to add the flour is because whenever you make a cookie and you add in another addition, whether it's Cadbury eggs or anything else, you wanna have your flour ready to go. You don't wanna overmix the flour. This is like when you add chocolate chips in a chocolate chip cookie recipe at the very end. Okay, show us.
So smash.
Show us what you
Carly,
tell us
smash.
about everything. Yes, do it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Everything's gonna be okay. It's okay.
Are you feeling more relaxed?
Yeah. There we go. Do you need a hand? Do you want to get in?
I'm good. I'm good.
Am I scared?
Work out that rage, girl.
Okay. So the thing about baking is that you gotta have fun, right? I mean, we are all about having fun with baking and cookies. And at the end of the day, you have delicious cookies.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
So
Are they
that's
cracked
it.
enough?
Okay, I need you to do a little target practice. So look at a few of these guys.
All right.
And at home, you can do it on your counter. I do it on a towel because it kind of protects your counter.
your
the
counter.
counter.
A little
I
more?
think that's good.
Okay. That's good.
God, you are good at this.
Thank you.
Yes.
Leave it there.
I feel like it's happening slower because it's on a clock.
And you want to zip that. It's okay. I love this. Okay. Amazing. Okay, so now we're going to just take this bowl. You're doing a great job, by the way.
thank you.
Fantastic job. I'm just getting it all in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go like this. Get ready. I might get a little flour facial. Okay. We're going to mix it just for like a little bit. You don't want to incorporate all the flour because then it will like overwork the dough and it'll be kind of tough and you don't want that. So you see they're still white.
Yes.
So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna add, you can do whatever you want. This is where you get to have fun. You guys want to add some
whatever you
inside?
want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So here, take a couple handfuls. Save me some.
Okay, I'll save you some. Carly, you did such a good job smashing the heck out of these.
I feel like if a child would enjoy doing it, I would enjoy doing it, right?
Yes. We're gonna mix it in here.
Ooh.
And then we're gonna wait for the flour to just absorb. Right about there.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. We turn that off. Great. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this dough that I already made for you guys, and we're gonna scoop it, and we're gonna move this down here.
Okay.
Actually, we're gonna move that down here, and then this is where it actually gets to be really fun. You're gonna scoop it on here, and gonna flatten like that. Trim the edges. So, are you guys gonna do anything special for Easter?
I love trying to bake with my son, but as I've told Carly, this last weekend it didn't go so well, but we tried.
What happened?
Well, we tried to make a cake from scratch, and you know, it didn't taste very good.
That's
But it's the memories
It's the memories that
count, you know?
That's right.
So you're gonna scoop it, and you're gonna take some of these, and you're just literally gonna press them in.
Ooh,
Okay.
But this is a swap that I made. The one that you guys just created here on the fly, it's inside, but
Yeah.
this version is gonna be on top.
And
So-
you don't have to press it down.
I'm just kind of adhering it, right? So if
And
you
then
wanna do
quickly
that-
before we go,
Yes.
tell us about this amazing cookie right here.
Okay, our sugar cookie, classic sugar cookie, a nest of coconut, a Cadbury bag on top. We like to believe in that refined but not fussy element. You can see we have an entire line of cookies.
Yeah.
You can even have them custom made. We can have them in little bags and bows for you. We believe in the detail that counts. And again, you can find us in Madrona at our Bake Shop, Cookies with Tiffany, Thursday through Saturday, and in Ballard at the Farmers Market
You're going to
this
sell
Sunday.
so many of these
I
on
know.
Sunday.
You are. So cute.
They're so cute.
are.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me today.
Of course, and for people who want to take a look at this recipe, you can certainly find it on our website, fox13seattle.com/Studio13 Live.
And coming up on Studio 13 Live, we're learning how to make some summer dishes for your next barbecue.
Yes, that includes some wine-marinated beef and squash skewers with a cherry bourbon glaze. Yum, yum. We'll be right back.
Hey, hey, it is time for Emerald East, where we get to highlight all the delicious food in our area.
Oh, so much good food today. And we are joined by Mary Kressler and Sean Martin, the wife and husband duo behind Vindulge. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
We're so happy to have you here. Now, Vindulge is a popular food blog, so talk to us about what you like to focus on.
Well, the easiest way is to describe it. We love live fire, outdoor cooking, and we like bringing community together through the fire. So it's really just what we do on the weekends: fire, wine, and meat.
So it gets pretty lit.
It does. Yes. Well played.
Thank you. And this is really cool too, because you've got a cookbook here.
Beautiful.
So you're the authors of this Fire and Wine cookbook. What can people find inside of it?
Fire and Wine Cookbook has 75 recipes, all for your grill and smoker. And one of the things that I love about it is it's very different than your typical barbecue book. We believe that anything you can cook inside in your kitchen, you can cook outside, and it's so much more fun. So we showcase some of those ideas in this cookbook. Also, everything comes with a wine pairing, which is something you don't see frequently in barbecue books. So
Fabulous.
All right, so let's dive right in. What are we making today?
we are making one of the recipes from the cookbook. These are wine marinated beef skewers with a cherry bourbon glaze.
Beautiful. Let's get on it.
All right, so we are starting the first step. So this recipe is layers and layers and layers of flavor, starting with the marinade. So if one of you wants to assist me, the first step in the marinade is we've got some red wine.
Okay.
And then we're gonna
in the bag? Yeah.
throw everything right in the bag, because we are going
Just
to
double
marinate the beef for just a couple of hours. We got some beef stock.
Okay.
And then we've got some onions and garlic.
Okay.
We just toss everything in
Everything in
there. And then some fresh herbs. We are using some rosemary. Oh, not that
Not
yet.
that, not that.
Sorry, look at me jumping ahead of myself.
Sorry. Do I
That's
do
another
anything
one.
to
Nope.
it?
Throw
Okay,
that all
just
in there.
right on in there.
And
Wow,
then
okay.
for the meat, we are using New York strip for this, but you could use any cut of beef that you like, anything from chuck, anything that's a big roast, you can cut up into 1-inch pieces. We are also going to add some vegetables, but we are going to marinate those vegetables separately, because I hear we have a vegetarian in the house.
That's right.
I hear that too.
But we would usually marinate the vegetables as well, because that's
Okay.
going to give the vegetables a little layer of flavor.
Okay. Beautiful.
And Sean he has his gloves. We would be putting the meat in there,
In
sealing
here.
it up, and then we're going to let that marinate for about 2 hours, no more than that.
Okay.
Once they're marinated, we're going to build our skewers.
Beautiful. Is there a secret to a skewer?
Well, the secret is consistency.
Okay.
Because if you don't, people get around the grill and they get nervous. Like, why is there a tomato there and not there?
Oh. So having everyone be the same?
It's about a pattern.
Okay.
So basically, you can do whatever you want. We just like tomato, we like a little onion, we like the meat, and then we go with the mushroom, and then we can start all over again with that pattern. And you can do a main meal, so usually it's 3 or 4 pieces of meat if you're doing this for a meal. And then if it's an appetizer, we just do like 2, and then you just kind of throw it right in the
Beautiful.
grill.
Okay, cool.
So that's how we're taking care of the skewers. I've got some that have been pre-made here. So Mary talked about the layer of flavor, so we're gonna add a little dry seasoning to the skewers. So here is when we use the dry seasoning.
And what goes in that seasoning?
Yes, this seasoning is kosher salt, coarse black pepper, granulated garlic versus garlic powder, so it's a little bit bigger granules.
Didn't know there were different things.
Yeah.
There are
it's
different
like
things.
chunky.
Yeah,
Oh.
the internet loves to tell us when we get it wrong, and then we remind them we actually said granulated.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
So we got a lot of feedback on that. And then we add a little bit of cayenne, just a touch for heat.
Okay.
And then paprika.
Beautiful.
But you can use any seasoning you like, and that's in the book. So why don't you grab a little bit of that seasoning and just douse it right over the top. So the skewers have been
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
all ready to go. You just sprinkle them on. And this is the fun part. This is the sizzle.
Okay. Ooh, I love a sizzle.
So we've got a hot pan here. Now, if we were actually grilling, we would have it over a direct grill, which means that the charcoal and the heat's directly underneath. And we're going to throw it right on the pan.
Ooh.
And that's what you want to hear, that sear.
Yes.
So,
And then for the veggie skewers, do you do pretty much the same thing, just veggie stock instead of beef stock?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep. Just substitute it for veggie stock. Let it marinate for a couple of hours. You could mix and match your vegetables. We use the same vegetables that are in this, but we also added some zucchini. But if you have another favorite vegetable, go ahead and marinate that. Cut them up in the same size pieces, skewer them, and then grill them the same way.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
so the last flavor area Mary's going to talk about, but basically these will take about 8 minutes to cook up. We're going to rotate them a quarter turn so we get a nice sear on each side, and then we're going to finish with the glaze, and that's what Mary's going to talk about.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, this is the third layer. So we started with the marinade, then we had the seasoning, and now the third layer is this cherry bourbon barbecue glaze. So
Beautiful.
essentially, we're starting with the base of a barbecue sauce. So what would be in your typical barbecue sauce? But then we're going to add some cherry jam, some bourbon, and then you cook that together, let it simmer just to let it mix. And then when you're done, we just coat the skewers one time while they're still on the grill.
Beautiful.
So pretend these have been on for a good 8 minutes or so. You're just going to give them one good glaze. And then you're going to glaze them again at the end. When they come off, you're going to give them one more little glaze. And same with the veggie ones. You're just going to give those a little glaze at the very end. And then they're ready to eat. I mean, it's really that simple.
Easy peasy.
We would love to try these, and while we do, tell us a little bit about your wine club and marketplace.
Yeah, go for
Yeah,
it.
so we last year started a direct-to-consumer wine market. So online you can join one of our wine clubs. We feature small wineries from all over the world, including Washington, including Oregon. We have some Sicily wines. And we really try and tell a story a little bit about the producer. So these are real wines from real farmers who are really focusing on land management and getting great wine out there. And also, it's really good with food. A lot of acidity, so we have some.
Oh,
ironically.
yay!
Oh, great.
So you can't have a skewer without a glass of wine.
Absolutely.
She's doing
So-
both.
Yeah.
She's doing both.
Yes.
Cheers.
Wonderful.
Feel free to
Cheers,
try.
guys.
Yeah,
Love the, oh,
cheers.
we were going to cheers and we weren't. There we go. We got it. This was absolutely wonderful. Mary and Sean, thank you so much for coming in and sharing all these tips with us.
Our pleasure.
And you can find these recipes on our website, fox13seattle.com/studio13live. And don't forget, if you have a restaurant or bar we should feature, definitely let us know. Email us, studio13live@fox.com. Bye.
Make it a good one.
Wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today. It's happening all around, like sunshine through the